I had a conversation with someone one time and I said, I may not be as smart as this guy, but I think he knows what he's doing. I mean, he's pretty much the richest man in the world. He's going on SNL later this week. He's doing everything he can to pump certain aspects of the cryptocurrency world. But in all reality, I think Tesla has a very strong future, and the earnings are going to speak for that as we come into the earnings announcement later today.
This is the How to Trade Stocks and Options podcast, brought to you by 10MinuteStockTrader.com, where we cover finance, stocks, options, entrepreneurship, education, and money. And here's your host, voted one of the top 100 people in finance, Christopher Uhl. Hey there, traders. Welcome back to today's How to Trade Stocks and Options podcast. Today, we have a special lesson for you. I'm putting it here on the podcast because I really believe that this is going to provide you massive, massive value. And that's what I'm trying to do here. And hey, listen, if this podcast was useful to you at all, I really highly suggest that you go check out the full trading course at AIStockTradingSystem.com. That's AIStockTradingSystem.com. Hey, make sure you subscribe and hit the bell so you'll be notified every time we give you more tools, tips, and tricks to help you trade faster and trade smarter every single week.
It is a busy week for investors. We've got the Federal Reserve policy setting meeting that kicks off tomorrow. It's a 2-day meeting. We've also got a packed economic calendar and no fewer than 150 companies out with earnings, including Tesla and Apple. Here to share his thoughts on all of this is Christopher Uhl. He is founder and head trader at 10-Minute Stock Trader. So, Chris, good to see you again. Let's start with this packed earnings calendar. We've got Tesla after the closing bell today, but what are you most looking forward to seeing?
You know, Tesla, you look at it over the last year or so, it jumped 700% in 2020. And while Tesla has been on a much more volatile ride lately, I do think that we are going to start to see what Elon's always wanted, which is affordable cars into the hands of as many people as possible, completely changing the game. And you look at what Tesla's done to the auto industry, all the automakers are pushing everything they can to just compete with Tesla. I mean, Tesla essentially was the Model T, and now we've got every other car maker trying to match that going forward. And so I think earnings are going to be a blockbuster blowout, really. That's what everybody's looking for, and the stock looks like it's setting up for it.
Right. Expectations are just a little bit high. Everyone's expecting a blockbuster blowout, of course, right?
Yeah,
but
why
people
not?
are nipping at Elon Musk's heels. So how much longer can he keep this up and continue to be the industry leader?
Well, I had a conversation with someone one time and I said, I may not be as smart as this guy, but I think he knows what he's doing. I mean, he's pretty much the richest man in the world. He's going on SNL later this week. He's doing everything he can to pump certain aspects of the cryptocurrency world. But in all reality, I think Tesla has a very strong future, and the earnings are going to speak for that as we come into the earnings announcement later today.
I know outside of Tesla, actually, we're going to talk a little bit later on about the fact that Musk is hosting SNL. There are a lot of critics out there who think he has no business doing that. We're going to talk to Emily McCormick about that a little later on. But in terms of other earnings outside of Tesla, I know that you're looking at Raytheon, which is going to report tomorrow before the open. Do you hold a position there, and what are you looking for?
So Raytheon has actually been quite intriguing to me. I had a position coming into earlier today. I'm completely flat in Raytheon now. It had been breaking out of a base and been really strong over the last few days. I typically don't like to trade into earnings, but this one is setting up really well, surprisingly well, given the nature of the industrial sector has really been performing very strongly lately. And Raytheon being one of the stocks that I have been I've been into, obviously. But as of now, like I said, going into earnings, I don't hold anything into earnings, but it definitely looks like something that is intriguing out there for people to be looking at.
Another stock that investors are going to be paying close attention to this week, of course, is Apple, because whether that goes well or bad, it moves the market. What are your expectations?
So Apple's an intriguing story, right? You look at it, they just had their product announcement last week. And you look at an Apple chart, it had a nice run up of 10% over the last month or so coming into that announcement, and then it traded sideways since then. So to me, that's kind of a hint that says it was a buy the rumor, sell the news type of situation. So while I'm very bullish into the Tesla earnings, I'm not there with Apple right now. I mean, consider, like I said, it had been up 10% over the last month or so. we stalled out right after these new product announcements, I think investors have already made up their mind. You know what? Maybe I have enough Apple stock. Maybe it's a little bit overweight. Maybe I'm going to be taking some profits.
I know that you brought along a couple of your stock picks. One of them is Hewlett Packard. Make the case for this company. It had been a laggard as of late.
You can just take a look at the chart, and it is really starting to explode. The way that I trade is I like to find things that are moving up, right? Where we talked about Apple had been moving sideways over the last few days. It's not a candidate that I would like to be trading. But now we're looking at Hewlett Packard, and it's got a lot of strength moving forward right now, and it's already had its earnings or last quarter, and it doesn't have any earnings issues over the next few weeks. So it absolutely looks like, there we go, right up on the screen. It looks like a stock that has a lot of potential moving forward, and it's a relatively affordable price stock. I mean, this could go on the meme list of something that they could be, looking to afford at around the 16 handle there.
And Christopher, how closely are you looking at the FOMC meetings this week? We know that the Fed's okay with letting inflation run hot. They believe that the price hikes were temporary. That's what they're signaling. What are your expectations?
So I don't pay a lot of attention to the FOMC, and I know that that's going to ruffle a lot of feathers. Really, whatever I'm doing is I'm looking at the stock setup, like we just talked about in HPE. The FOMC has zero bearing on what the stock price is doing right now. It may react at some point, but it also may not. So I'm not putting any kind of hedges in place. And if the stock turns around, then I'll be the first one to get out. I'm the weakest hands there is because I want to see the stock moving up. And if it's not working for me, I'm going to cut my ties as fast as possible.
What do you like outside of stocks right now, if anything at all, or maybe outside the U.S. market, Christopher?
So right now, I've been cautiously watching the crypto market. There's a lot of crypto news going on out there with like Doge and Bitcoin, Ethereum hitting new highs in comparison to Bitcoin. And while that's all very interesting, the accessibility of that is not there, right? You can't just log into basically any broker platform, click buy and click sell, and you're in or out. And then you've got some newcomers on the horizon, like SafeMoon and I forget the other names. But my concern right now is we may be seeing a very bubbly space in the crypto realm, especially when you look at the price of NFTs. I mean, this is just screaming tulip bubble type results to me. So while I can't predict the future, this is definitely something I like to watch, but not participate in.
All right. Sometimes you just need to be a spectator. Christopher Uhl, founder and head trader at 10-Minute Stock Trader. Thanks so much.
Okay, so what'd you think? That was pretty incredible, right? Now, if you like that, that's only a taste, only a sample of what you're going to find in the full AI stock trading system. And I really highly encourage you to go and check this out. Obviously, you are interested in learning on how to trade, and that's why you're listening to this podcast. Now, I'm going to take and download my entire trading system that I use day in and day out onto you. And the only way I'm going to be able to do that is over at the AIStockTradingSystem.com. You're going to get phase 1, 2, and 3, several bonuses, and on top of that, I'm going to walk you through over a dozen trades that I put on inside of my account, holding your hand and showing you exactly how I got in, how I got out, how I use the artificial intelligence data, and how this could work inside of your own trading portfolio on a daily basis. So make sure you head on over to AIStockTradingSystem.com. That's AIStockTradingSystem.com to learn more and to get started and to download my decade plus worth of trading experience into your hands so you can start using the AI stock trading system today, the 5-step system to take the guesswork out of trading. Hey, if you like this video, let me know by leaving me a like below, and then subscribe and share it with somebody you think could use it as well. Be sure to comment below with your biggest takeaway from this episode and any suggestions you have for future episodes. And finally, make sure you watch these other videos to help you trade faster and trade smarter, and I'll see you on the next episode.